And we are live. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the pocket for the annual first round of the draft. Live stream, live reaction. As a Giants fan, I'm quite used to watching the beginning of this portion, as the Giants are always picking near the top, but I am more fired up than I have been in quite a long time. The Giants have two top 10 picks, the number 5 overall pick and the number 10 overall pick after trading Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals. And it's got me very, very nervous, very anxious, but very excited as we are approaching, the precipice of the John Harbaugh, era with the Giants. This is going to define what he wants to do with the New York Giants and how he plans to sort of revive the franchise that has just been struggling for years and years and years. We are about 12 minutes out of the draft. There's a lot we could talk about, but the first round is going to take a couple hours. It is going to take 3 hours. So I was thinking, maybe it's a good time to actually take a brief moment to talk about something else that happened today before we get started and before we get into it. And that would be the Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini situation. This is a situation that occurred starting about a few weeks ago. I believe it was like 2.5 weeks ago. Some photos emerged from, I forget who, but it was of Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini at a hotel together. Pictures of them interlocking hands, at a pool, hot tub, all that kind of stuff. And I got to be real careful about how I talk about this because you never know when, they might, sue you for making some kind of accusation that we don't know is true. So I got to be very careful as I quickly just check up on the live stream. And it looks like we are live. And that's how it started out. It was a conversation among the media. What's going on here. We kind of have an idea, but we can't say for sure. We don't know what's true. We just know that they were there. Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini kind of brushed it off, said there were other people there. There's nothing to see here. And then we come around to Mike Vrabel making his statement. Dianna Russini gets investigated by The Athletic, and she resigns. And Mike Florio, I think, did a good job of explaining how, even though there was no real proof of anything that she did, it was in the contract with The Athletic that not only can you not do anything that is caught, compromising you, you can't even do anything that gives you the perception that The Athletic or you are compromised as a reporter. And that's fireable offense. They can fire you for that sort of thing. I suppose it's up to them. Hopefully I'm not mixing up the details here and we'll get sued, but ultimately she chose to resign, but The Athletic is still going to investigate because they want to know what happened here with our reporter. Just going to quickly check to make sure the audio is good. I know it is, but you're just never sure, and with a live stream like this, you don't want to be wrong. Sounds good. Sounds good to me. All right, let's keep that. I'll just keep the headphones on. But where was I? So Dianna Russini resigns, and Mike Vrabel comes out and makes another statement a few days ago. I believe it was 2 or 3 days ago, saying basically he's had difficult conversations with his teammates and his family, and that this has somewhat caused a distraction, but he is, grateful to the media for giving him space in a private matter and all that kind of stuff. And then today, on the day of the first round of the NFL draft, April, had to count the months there for a second, almost forgetting where we are. It's April. It's draft season. How do you forget that, Scooter? Come on. And some more photos come out. And it's not just one batch. It's just been one after the other, after the other, after the other. It's almost like whoever had this information was waiting for Mike Vrabel to make another statement kind of vaguely describing the situation. My actions have caused this and that, not really admitting to anything, but it being kind of in between the lines. And there are photos that come out of them at a bar. I don't know where the bar is, but you can see the two of them sitting next to each other talking to each other, pretty close to each other. A touch of the arm from Vrabel to Russini. Vrabel leaning in for a kiss, being like an inch away from her face. He's already denied that anything's really going on here. And to make matters worse, this photo was allegedly taken in 2020, 6 years ago. So not only is this something that's been going on recently, but it would appear it has been going on for a long time. Years. And Mike Vrabel, after kind of coming out and saying he would not be speaking to the media until like day 3, it was reported that he would come out and speak at 7:20 before the start of the draft. Maybe they're hoping with everything that happens in the draft, the news can kind of wash that away. But I have a feeling it's not going anywhere. It hasn't gone anywhere after a couple weeks. It's not going to go anywhere now. And he basically... It was even reported before that the reason he wouldn't be attending is because he would be going to counseling. I don't know if it was marriage counseling, some kind of therapy. I don't know. But he comes out and basically says, my actions, haven't been to my standard. And, I'm going to have to not be at the draft because I'm going to be with my family because they need me right now. And a whole bunch of stuff like that. Once again, still kind of vaguely not admitting to it, but a little closer to admitting to it than he was in his first statement, and a long shot from where he was calling it laughable to assume anything was going on here. And there's been conversations about the fairness here. Dianna Russini retires. It seemed like she was going to get fired. She resigns. Not retired. She resigns. But Vrabel's fine, he's not getting criticized. Well, today, that all changed. Not to mention, it is in Russini's contract. There's nothing in an NFL head coach's contract about necessarily having an affair, if that was what was going on here. But for a reporter, it's different. So there's that. But now, with all of this stuff coming out after Vrabel had denied it, it has gone from a bad look to a worse look. And now... people are starting to ask the question, is Mike Vrabel going to be the head coach of the New England Patriots to start the season? Right now, I think yes, still, just because they did so well last year. Year 1 with the second-year quarterback, you make it to the Super Bowl. You really don't want to blow it up. Robert Kraft will have a lot of tolerance to it. It's not like he's been free of any scandals in his life. But it looks really bad. And I'm going to explain why. Because, to me, I really liked Mike Vrabel. All the way back to his Tennessee days, I thought he was a great coach, that motivator type, just so inspiring, really fires you up. Guy's guy, gets involved in the practices physically, former player. What a coach to play for. Holds you to the highest standard, tries to get the most out of you. Players rave about him. But then this thing kind of comes out. And I started thinking... many people will say, well, the players won't care. Half the NFL is probably having an affair anyway, and this and that, and the coaches and the owners and all that kind of stuff. But what about the other half? It seems like there's two kind of types of players in the NFL, and I'm boiling it down, but stay with me here. You got your really uber talented guys, who do work hard, but they manage to get there based off of their talent. And I'm not saying every single one of those guys has a big ego, but typically that would be the one who has, the biggest ego. I'd be willing to bet that those are the types of guys who are going out there having the affairs, right? They don't have necessarily everything in order, but they know if they go out and perform, they're going to get their money. And then you have the other half, which is like your really hardworking, kind of refined, maybe not quite as talented, but got there, doing the little things right. Take, for instance, the expected first overall pick, Fernando Mendoza. How are they going to feel about this? How would Fernando Mendoza feel about a head coach who cheated on his wife? Allegedly. Allegedly cheated on his wife. Or at least, let's just say it would appear he did. That's what it seems like. How is a guy like Fernando Mendoza going to feel about that? You don't hear about these types of guys as much. They don't make it into the media. They don't have loud voices. But they're on these NFL teams. Those guys on the Patriots that are like that, are you going to get 100% of them? When you're barking orders at them when it's hot in the summer, are you going to get everything they got like you did last year? and all the years before? I would think not. And I think what made the Patriots so special last year, as fraudulent as I think they were, was this is the thing that Mike Vrabel teams do, is they really go all out. And I don't think you're going to get that this upcoming year. You have a more difficult schedule. There will be more turbulence, and this just is a bird in the rudder. Like, it is bad. Bad turbulence. This isn't going away. Russini investigation is going to go on, and, we'll find out if there's a conclusion to that. It would appear whoever has this information has got loads of ammunition, and it could come out whenever they want. Maybe there's more and more, and people are digging up stuff left and right about stuff Russini tweeted, and, all kinds of nasty stuff. I mean, really, I just feel awful for the spouses of these two. All of this dirty laundry getting aired out. But that's kind of my bottom line about this is, as I wrap this up, I just don't think I already thought they were going to regress next year. I think it's about a guarantee now that they're going to regress. So, really unfortunate. I was a big fan of Mike Vrabel before all of this went down. And now I'm not a big fan of him. I mean, we don't know for sure what went down, but I trust my gut on this one. Seems like something went down. Leaning in for a kiss at a bar 6 years ago, and then this stuff comes out now, and you're going to say, oh, it's nothing. I mean, seems very suspicious. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not making an accusation, but I'm just saying it seems very, very suspicious, and I think everyone feels the same way. It's almost insulting to call it laughable, to want to question what's going on here. And now we're here, and it, like I said, it just went from bad to worse. But that's enough about that, everybody. This Dianna, Russini, and Mike Vrabel story has completely hijacked the NFL draft media cycle. But now it's 8 o'clock on day one, round one of the NFL draft, and we are going to get into it. The New York Giants have the 5th and 10th overall pick. As I said, they got a chance to completely rebuild their franchise. But it was at the cost of Dexter Lawrence. So a defense that was already awful, bottom 2 against the run last year. Had to eat my dinner before this. It's a long stream. It's a couple hours. But I had to eat my dinner before this. And I got the hiccups. But, yeah, the Giants, seems like, their approach, we'll get into that after I kind of talk about the rest of the top 10. The Raiders at number 1 seems like a foregone conclusion. They're going to take Heisman-winning national champion Fernando Mendoza. We're talking about the character that he has is incredible. Really is. Seems like an awesome guy. Believes in himself and who he is, in addition to being a really talented guy. Great passer, very sizable quarterback, 6'5". At home with his family right now. You can see him next to his mom, who he says he does everything for. I think that's his dad, but his dad looks just like Kurt Signetti. But yeah, I would bet that's his dad. You can see Jeremiah Love in the draft room. But yeah, Fernando Mendoza seems like the first overall pick is a lock. But then you also have the Jets at number 2, who are expected to take Reese. And there are discussions about possibly getting David Bailey, a more pro-ready pass rusher. But seems like most people are mocking them, the Jets. Number 3, you have the Cardinals. Could kind of do anything with them, but if I was a rebuilding team, I would start with the offensive line. I don't think you can go there. I don't think you can go wrong there. Same goes for the Titans. They have their quarterback. In Cam Ward, but they have no weapons, and their defense is kind of abysmal. So edge rusher, wide receiver, running back, offensive line, they could do anything. Did the Raiders trade down from 1 to 4? Hold on a second here. What is going on? This might be a glitch, but did the Raiders just trade away the first overall pick? What is going on? What? Oh man, that seems like I had the audio off. I didn't want to. I wanted to focus on what I was saying, but what is going on? Man, this is crazy. I don't see anything about this. This has got to be a glitch. There is no way. That is it. That's the second round. That's why. I was gonna say. Holy smokes. Forgive me, guys, for botting right there. But yeah. So yeah, Fernando Mendoza expected to be the first overall pick. Jeez. I was losing my mind right there. I was like, what is going on? We haven't even gotten started. Do they not? Are they gonna roll with Kirk Cousins this year? Oh man, that was crazy. I'm gonna send out my send out the stream to a couple buddies just so they can follow along with me. Got the spoiler on Twitter. But this is NFL Plus, guys. Guys, I know last year I was behind. I was sorry about that. You guys knew the pick like 2 minutes before me. But now we got NFL Plus. And I should be getting this as quickly as possible as I'm watching on the desktop. Okay, we're gonna send this out to some of the boys. We got Cam Ward talking up here. All right. Getting it out there. All right, this is just about it. Got it sent out to a couple group chats. Got Cam Ward breaking it down for Pittsburgh. Gotta love a guy like him. Can't believe he's still playing, really. But yeah, it's finally here. The NFL draft. I just can't wait to get past this Mendoza pick that we know is coming so that we can get into the real draft, which really starts at pick number 2. Sometimes you could say pick number 4, pick number 5. You kind of know the first 4 or 5. That's not this year. We don't know the first overall pick this year. Or, excuse me, the second through pretty much the whole rest of the draft. There's a few locks, but each pick is going to change the next, so the Las Vegas Raiders are on the clock. Let's see how long this takes. It should be in right away. They got 8 minutes. If this isn't Fernando Mendoza within the first 30 seconds, I'd be a little shocked. That means they're fielding offers. I don't see it. I don't see them not wanting Mendoza. So, what's the final prediction? Who do the G-men take with their first 2 picks? What I want and the predictions are 2 different things. But I do think it seems like Caleb Downs would be the 5th overall pick. That you could play the value game if you like Francis Mauigoa a little bit more. But I would expect Caleb Downs at number 5. And then at number 10 is where I think it's more difficult to say. Maybe Sonny Styles is still there. If not, then I would say you're probably looking at Francis Mauigoa if he's still there. And there's been a lot of noise about Jordan Tyson. It might just be because I'm saying I don't want him at 10. I think we can get value in the second round. But I would honestly, I feel like Caleb Downs and an offensive lineman is the move. Maybe even if Styles is there. I mean, we need to protect Jackson Dart. The defense needs help, and Caleb Downs is he's gonna help us on every snap of defense. He does stuff outside of the scheme. Very instinctual, one of the smartest players in the draft, one of the best safety prospects we've seen in years. Not the biggest or most physically imposing, but that's not what matters. Not if you know where you're going before everybody else does. So it's been 2 minutes, and Mendoza has not been selected, but it looks like he may have gotten the phone call and he's waiting. Edgar Allan Poe? What are you talking about, the Ravens, huh? Baltimore? You know their mascot's name is Poe? Edgar Allan Poe is not available in the draft. Maybe in the, 1846 NFL draft. Yeah, of course it wasn't a thing back then, but. How many eggs do you put in an egg salad? I do not have egg salad, but if I were to have an egg salad, I would probably put 4. You got to get the protein. This is Dart's second year in the league. Yes. And we got to capitalize on Dart's rookie contract. As much as the Giants are rebuilding, the Giants absolutely need to look at this as by year, it probably not this year, not possible. We would have to absolutely kill this draft and use the rest of our money that we freed up from trading Dexter Lawrence wisely. But 2 years from now, year 2 of John Harbaugh and year 3 has to be, where you're starting to say we should be, have already made the playoffs and we're looking to take that next step into the Super Bowl. Because if you're paying your quarterback that massive contract, it is very hard to make it to and win a Super Bowl. Super Bowl winning quarterbacks of the past, I think pretty much since the salary cap has started, none of them besides Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes have won it at more than like 14% all the way. And that was Steve Young. If you go after Steve Young, it's like 12.5%. Jalen Hurts with the Eagles, he had like that void year stuff going on. He was only 5% of their cap hit. Sam Darnold, same deal. Cheap quarterback contract. And they make it to the Super Bowl with a loaded roster and elite coaching. It's another thing that rarely gets talked about. You got to hit on a coach. Not a big fan of the Giants' offensive coordinators, but we'll see about the defense. We're going to need it. We're going to need the help on defense. And we're going to have to nail this draft. The Raiders have not picked yet. Are they receiving offers from the Jets and Cardinals right now? Did that guy have a Cardinals jersey with Mendoza on it, or was that a Hoosiers jersey? Stay hydrated, people. Stay hydrated. It's a long night. Anyone watch Game of Thrones? That episode was mid. Massive disappointment. And let me know if you guys can somehow maybe hear through my headphones into the microphone. It's kind of close. I don't want to get demonetized or get some kind of copyright strike for this, so. I can't believe that they haven't made this pick yet. What are they doing? Oh, the pick is in. Here we go. And also, if you see this pick before me, let me know. If it's like 5 seconds, it's probably just the YouTube stream delay. But we got the Raiders front office clapping. They're feeling good about it. They're composed looking. Touchdown Abdul Neighbors replied to me in one of my comment sections. He really wants Jeremiah Love. Well, let me tell you, I do not. We are about to see. If you guys were watching my YouTube shorts this week and my videos about the draft, thank you very much. The YouTube shorts were very successful. They're averaging like 2.5 thousand views. It's pretty good. That's where I expressed my passionate feelings about not wanting Jeremiah Love, not because he isn't a great player, but because the Giants have so many needs. Yes, I'm live for this, Pat. I am live. Come on, it's 5 and 10. I'm gonna do this every year too. Fernando Mendoza goes number 1 overall to the Raiders. What do I think is going to happen with the Raiders? We've seen this trend with the young quarterbacks, the rookie contracts. Throw on the Hynoski. It's up there. That's right. Thanks, man. It's I might have another Hynoski jersey in there, but I could maybe put on another one. Scuba King, thank you for being subbed. The shorts, yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that algorithm, but they might show up on your For You page or your subscriptions page in the subs. A team of king toads or water-deprived squirrels who wins? How much does a king toad weigh? I gotta know. I should have Googled this on the other one. Oh, yeah, no. The squirrels are winning. They're going to be ferocious. They're going to be furious. They got a couple they got some size and they got some agility on the toads. They're beating the squirrels for sure. See if I can get a jersey on. I got many Giants jerseys. Most of them are up there that are current players. How about a Super Bowl champion Mario Manningham jersey? How about that? But let's get back to because they're dehydrated. You think the squirrels will lose? Maybe, but like I think even a dehydrated squirrel has more like athletic capability. And I don't think a king toad could like eat a squirrel, you know what I mean? I don't think that's in the cards. I don't think it's possible for the king toad to really attack the squirrel. Here, 1 second. I'm going to take this other shirt off because it's going to get hot. All right. I'm standing by my take about the squirrels. Rodents got mean teeth. But anyway, Mendoza to the Raiders. What do I think? I think they're going to have a pretty good year. They're going to have him on a young contract. If he needs time to develop, they'll be able to play Kirk Cousins. Their offensive line was bad last year, but not only because it's not that great, but because Colton Miller was injured. They'll get him back. Ashton Genty. Brock Bowers. They did sign KJ Osborne, I believe, of the Vikings, kind of overshadowed by Addison. Yeah. Oh, no, that he signed with the Titans. Who'd they sign? They signed a Vikings wide receiver. I'm mixing him up with somebody else. Jalen Naylor. That's who it was. Jalen Naylor. The defense is going to be a problem. It's not going to be that great. The pick is in for the Jets already for number 2. Oh, man. The Giants pick is coming here. Oh, man. But I do think the Raiders are going to be solid. If not this year, they might win like 6 games. Tough division. But the Chiefs are down. The Chargers, they should be really good next year. The Broncos, obviously, were great, but they win by close margins. I think Mendoza has the potential to be better than Bo Nix for sure. Herbert, we'll see. Pretty similar. Pretty similar type of prospect. Herbert probably a little more talent, but I think Mendoza's more refined. He had more starts in college. He'll probably get off to a hotter start. Chargers weren't a great team when he started there. Clint Kubiak could already be a great coach. And the Raiders have new ownership. New ownership that is much better than what they've been dealing with the past, 10, 20 years. So could be a new era for the Las Vegas Raiders. And now the Jets, they got their pick in. Some Jets fans are going to lose their mind if this is Ty Simpson. Clint Kubiak is the Raiders coach. Seahawks offensive coordinator last year. He was a beast. Now he's going to be coaching Mendoza as the head coach. He's going to be there for good. As long as they're not awful. The Jets selection. David Bailey. Okay, some people called this that Aaron Glenn would want a more pro-ready defender to join the squad so that, you know, they had a better chance of winning this year. Arvo Reese more of a project, kind of raw prospect. Maybe the best, like, you know, raw potential football player in the draft, but very young. Very young, and, you know, it would be a lot of work. A lot of work to get him going, especially on a bad team, bad defense. So I kind of see what they're doing. Not sure that's what I would have done. Very curious to see if Arvell Reese falls to 5. He's barely practiced as an edge rusher, but he's very similar to Sonny Styles in the sense that he's like a raw linebacker prospect. So if him and Styles are both there, there's a good chance that one of them is available at 10. And I would love to see if the Giants could get Caleb Downs and one of those two, or like I said, an offensive lineman. But I would also love to see more than anything for the Giants to trade back. You know, trade back. I really think the Rams could be a trade-up spot from 13 to 10. You know, move back a couple spots. There's only so many rookies that would even have a chance to start on the Rams, and they were all in on this year. So I would love to see them trade up to the Giants pick. Give us some more capital, and we're not really missing out because we would be behind Dallas, so we'd be kind of at their mercy, which is something I don't love. But what are you gonna do? Move down one spot to 11? Like maybe. But ideally, I think another team that's all in is like the Ravens, although they do kind of need a lot. The Jets, they're scared that someone's gonna take Ty Simpson, which I doubt. Doubt that they would move up. The Lions, the Vikings. Yeah, so it's probably, I think it's the Rams at number 13. Moving up a couple spots to secure their guy. Maybe to take Makai Lemon away from the Dolphins at number 11. Maybe they really like him. See if I could call that. I feel pretty good about that take right there. If there is a trade, I would say it's the Rams going up to number 10, taking the Giants pick. And maybe the Giants trade number 5 back to the Rams. And the Rams want to add an elite player from there. We'll see. We'll just have to see. Good for David Bailey. Second pick in the draft. He got the bag right there. David Bailey had an awesome year. About 6'3", 250. Very dense defensive end. Led the FBS in sacks. You know, I guess, you know, you don't want to take a project. You want to have instant improvement. They got 2 first-round picks. They got the later picks if they want to take projects. He signs his rookie card on TV. That's pretty cool. Wonder what that's going to go for one day. God's Super Fortnite in my game right now. Blue Skull. Blue Skull, what are you talking about? In your game right now? Are you playing something? And who is God's Super Fortnite? For those of you who don't know, Blue Skull is a subscriber who probably comments more than almost anybody else. I mean, there's people I know that comment quite a bit, but I've never met Blue Skull in person, but he's always one of the first people to comment on my videos and always makes me feel awesome. So Blue Skull, if you're listening, I appreciate you, man. You're an awesome guy. I appreciate you. RL. I'm still not sure who that is or what the game is, but yes, massive W though. Blue Skull, he always comments on the episodes too. Before he even watches it, I know it's before he watches it, because he says, I know this is going to be a banger, and I'm like, oh man. Those 2 weeks of editing, you just made it a little better, man. But yeah, the pocket's done pretty well for itself so far. Shorts have definitely been helping to get more subscribers. But I do always want to get the long-form content out there for you guys when I can. But anyway, let's get back to the draft. The Cardinals pick is in. Number 3 overall. There's been talk about any position really to them. Jeremiah Love, Reese maybe, now that he's here. Offensive line, Francis Mauigoa. Could do a lot of things here, but I think it's probably between Reese, Mauigoa, and Jeremiah Love. We'll see what it ends up being. Pickens signs franchise tag. Conversations on the future continue. That's crazy. They tagged him again. He was better than CD last year, even though CD got hurt. Week 1, CD was dropping passes. Let's get the pockets and brand deals. I'd love to. I have the thing set up on YouTube in order to do so. I think for that kind of stuff, it's here's the pick. Jeremiah Love goes number 3 to the Cardinals. So there he goes. The Giants don't have to worry about taking him. Celebrate. Oh, man. He's going to be a phenomenal player. You know, they did sign Tyler Algier. They signed him. Now, he's a very different kind of archetype from Love. Very, like, a lot bigger. But Love is kind of like the explosive kind. And I still think that's, you know, that's a lot of money going to the running back position. I guess they want to help out Jacoby Brissett. Yeah, I'm glad he's not on the board. We don't even have to think about it. And, you know, that pushes everybody else down. Really good time for the Giants to consider trading out of number 5. And, guys, if you're watching the stream right now and you haven't already, please, if you would, drop a like on the stream. Maybe share it to a friend or two. It would be greatly appreciated. But, yeah, with the brand deals, I got the thing set up. I think YouTube can reach out to me. You know, maybe if like Underdog or like one of those sites, you know, they tend to do, it seems like the threshold I've kind of seen of channels that can do that. Usually, like, I think it's like somewhere around 10,000 subs. They start considering you. You know, yeah, it's really more about how many views you're bringing in regularly, but it seems like that is kind of the threshold. So we've got a bit of a way to go, but be proactive. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure outside of I've seen it in YouTube Studio. I signed up for the deal for them. I believe it's for them to reach out to me, but I'm not sure if there is some other way that goes down. Let me see. It would be in the earn category. Oh, they're playing Love Me for Jeremiah Love. Very fitting, I suppose. Love me. Yeah, I'm rooting for him. We did not need a running back. And now the only other running back really worth something is Jadarian Price. There's other guys who might end up being good, but just off of what we can see. Partnerships. Welcome to Creator Partnerships. Okay, so it appears I can pitch my channel through brands by automatically creating a shareable summary of my audience and insights. My audience interests are fans of American football, basketball fans apparently, and baseball fans, which is all apparently very high. So that is something I can do. Pat, thank you for reminding me. Rocket League, Blue Skull, I love Rocket League, dude. I love Rocket League. Rocket League is one of my favorite games, but man, is it frustrating sometimes. Some people are so good. I don't know how they do it. You know, I think the highest I ever got was like gold. I can't remember if it goes up or down, but I was like gold 3 or something. And I can't take it up the wall and into the goal. I cannot carry the ball through the air like that. I cannot do it. So I was never quite that great at it, but I think it's such a fun game. Love is talking about paying his family back. That is awesome, man. What a guy. A lot of like very Chad, honorable dudes in this year's draft. We've heard a lot about the character. Yeah, Blue Skull. I don't know when or how I'm going to consider like launching it and splitting the time, but I did start a gaming channel. I haven't really uploaded anything to it, but it's like ready to go. My idea is if I can maybe use some of my free time to pick us in for the Titans to make some content in advance. I can kind of upload it and have a nice head start. I'm also making my plan for what to do throughout the off season for the NFL and in season. So yeah. You're stuck in Plat 3, can't get good teammates. I had a buddy who was in Platinum. He might be watching the draft or watching the stream right now. I was never that good. But I commend you for being able to do all those moves. Super fun game. Wish I was better at it. So the Titans pick is in. Number 4 overall. The Giants are next. Unless if they trade. But keep going, Blue Skull. I believe in you. You can do it, man. You know, I was looking for tickets to the draft. It's expensive, man. It's like hundreds of dollars to go. It sits in Pittsburgh. It's like, it's not too far. It's actually a lot of hours away. But there's further places you can go. All right, looks like they're going to announce the pick. Titans got their new branding. Yeah, flights are going crazy right now because of the jet fuel and oil and gases are way more expensive right now. That's why, in addition to it being an expensive event. The Tennessee Titans select Cornell Tate at number 4. Wow. Cornell Tate goes to the Titans at number 4. It's not like he wasn't on my board for anything. 6'2 and a quarter, 192. Kind of your big, biggish bodied wide receiver. Great hands, great route runner. Kind of reminds me of Devontae Adams, really. That's what he kind of reminds me of. But now the Giants, man, they have so much they can do right here. I have no idea who they're going to take, but I'm probably going to be pretty happy with it no matter what. I really hope they trade back because think about who's on the board. Mauigoa, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, Mauigoa, Caleb Downs. That's 5 dudes. Can we trade back to 9? This is what happened in Gene's mock draft. The Chiefs traded up to 5 to get one of these guys, and we selected Downs and Styles at 10. That's what Gene did. And they could take Downs. I wouldn't be too mad at it. If they just stayed there, Downs is probably the best player. You do have good other safeties in this draft, but I try to get them at a value at like 15, like Dylan Thieneman. Yeah, Tate really reminds me of like Devontae Adams. He's just got like a little longer of a frame. Devontae's a little bigger, it seems. Gene is doing well. Gene's doing quite well. He was on the stream with me the other night. It was a great time. The Hynoski tarp is up there. It's signed. I can't wear it. I don't know if you can see that it's signed. I can bring it up. You guys want me to throw it on so badly? Maybe I will. Maybe if I'm happy enough with this pick for the stream, I might have to. Let's see what happens here, and I will and then I'll probably put it on. Screw it. It is for good luck. Fullbacks rule. Last time we won a Super Bowl. I can't believe they took Carnell Tate with all the defensive players on the board. Ruben Bain also is up here. Did the Chiefs trade up for Ruben Bain? Get an edge rusher? I mean, they do kind of need a lot. If I was anyone in this draft, I wouldn't be trading up. Especially with this start. Great players are getting pushed down the board. Nothing against Carnell Tate. Jeremiah Love. Nothing against David Bailey. He's great. Obviously Mendoza, but a lot of really highly touted prospects are still available. Good for Carnell Tate, though. Good guy. Ohio State wide receiver. Hard to go wrong with that. Let's see what he says. Reliable target, always open. Damn, that's sad. He lost his mom. Teammates are throwing? I'm sorry, Blue Skull. I'm sorry that they're not living up for you. The pick is in. All right, they're not trading down. You gotta mess with them in the chat, Blue Skull. All right, man. I feel like this has got to be Caleb Downs, right? This has got to be him. Yeah, that's sad about Carnell Tate, though, man. I always feel like it's definitely kind of intense how they bring that stuff up. You're like a 21-year-old kid, and they bring that up. You're on like live TV, biggest moment of your life, and they bring that kind of stuff up. Good for him, though. Good for Carnell Tate. Man, I might have to turn on my fan or open a window. I'm definitely opening a window. All right, we'll throw on the Hynoski. It is signed, but I suppose I can afford to wear it on the occasion. The pick is probably already made. But we are going to throw it on anyway. And the Manningham goes up. Super Bowl winning Manningham. Thank you, Dad, for this jersey. This was his. And I saw it in his closet one day. And I was like, oh my God. Is that a Super Bowl winning Mario Manningham jersey? He was like, yeah. You take it. Let's go. We got the Rhinoceros. That's right. And now we got Ricard. Man, we got commercials too, right before the Giants pick. That Vrabel Dianna Russini situation is crazy too. I talked about that earlier in the stream. I'll probably clip that up into a video. Should do quite nicely. I think I legally said nothing wrong. Fullbacks do need more respect in the league. I was thinking about making an episode just about fullbacks. I think if anyone's right to do that, it would be me. I think the ones I've been thinking about for this upcoming off season are: how fraudulent were the 2025 Patriots? What's stopping Justin Herbert? Fullbacks, I don't know what I would call it yet. And then there's a few others I'm blanking right now. There's just so many. Let me pull it up. I got them all written down. The psychology behind momentum in football. Aaron Rodgers if he retires. The vanishing of Michael Thomas. Hoping to make a lot more short videos that aren't an hour long, because not everyone has an hour. But yeah, fullbacks is definitely one of them. Paul C. Volke, thank you for your service. Rest in peace. I believe they said he passed away. I should probably lock in before I say stuff like that. Yeah. All right. Rest in peace. Reese. Oh my God! I knew if he was there, we were gonna have to take him. He's like another. He's like I said, he's like Sonny Styles, but the thing is with him is people were projecting him as an edge rusher. And he's listed as an edge. I mean, he's the best player on the board by that criteria. But he said, I believe, that he wants to play off-ball linebacker. That's what he wants to do, because that's what he's great at. And if we're putting him next to Tremaine Edmonds, that is a tremendous help to the run defense, and I'm sure there's lots of different ways we can use him. Blitzing linebacker. This is not, this was one of the least things I was expecting, but with him and Sonny Styles on the board, he is probably the best player available. Like I said, only rushed off the edge a couple of times, but he is he's going to be our starting linebacker next to Tremaine Edmonds. Yeah, I would say Downs or Delane at number 10, but honestly, if Mauigoa is there, it makes me want to trade back so bad. I think they just didn't want to lose Reese at number 5. I mean, we just got the best linebacker in the draft. We didn't think he was going to be there. The Jets were like, we're going to put him at edge. Lots of other teams too. Man, they couldn't get him a hat that fit. That's sick, though. All right, sweet. 324 snaps at edge, 237 at off-ball linebacker, 34 snaps in the slot. Not a bad pick. Basically, very similar to the Sonny Styles pick. Because what you see is with these athletic linebackers, lots of teams are like, let's put him at edge. But yeah, so clearly he's got the versatility. We're going to be able to have multiple fronts. This is something that the Giants defensive coordinator is known for as well. But I'm just curious. We need size on our defense pretty badly. With the loss of Dexter Lawrence especially. Our edges are all on the thinner side. I think we should trade Kayvon Thibodeau at this point especially. If we can draft Downs and then trade Kayvon and some capital for a guard, if that's what it takes, I would really like that. But we got to move Kayvon Thibodeau at this point. Because as much as we don't necessarily... We have a bunch of Carter is very similar. Where he, I believe, transitioned to edge in that final year and was obviously much better at it than he was at off-ball linebacker, but he had time at off-ball linebacker. Yeah. Oh man, she messed with him about the hat. He did not look happy about that. He's gonna rock someone day one. Oh man, the Chiefs trade up to number 6. There must be a couple guys that they like. I'm willing to bet this is Ruben Bain. Last kind of elite defensive lineman. Not that there aren't other great ones, but the Browns traded away the 6th overall pick for the 9th overall pick, and they get a 3rd and a 5th. Yeah, offensive tackle might be Mauigoa. So teams are willing to trade up. Like the Chiefs, I feel like the Rams is that other type of team. If we could trade down from 10 to 13, now that we already have... I mean, if Downs is there, it's really tough. It is really tough. I did really want offensive line. It was kind of my number one priority. Tough to pass on Reese, though. Curious to see who's there at 10. If we go all defense, though, it's kind of like my second and third priority being addressed out of like 5 that we could have. But very interesting. They select Delane, number 6. So, corner was a position that I thought the Giants might need. But it's definitely not top of our list. So this is once again pushing Caleb Downs down. Sonny Styles, Mauigoa he's still on the board. Monroe Freeling still on the board. Giants are going to have a good chance to trade down. There is 7, 8, and 9. So 3 more picks before we get to go. Like, if we move back to 13, only thing we're doing is giving the Cowboys the opportunity. Well, the Cowboys could draft Downs, but they'll have the chance to draft Sonny Styles as well, most likely. So we'll just see what happens. It's very interesting. The Giants getting Reese, though, I must say. I almost want to make a video in its own reacting to it afterwards because I was probably least prepared to talk about Reese. But I think the plan is to use him at off-ball linebacker. I think that's pretty clear. Him and Tremaine Edmonds. But man, the Giants are going to have some dogs on the edge, but that interior is squishy. We got the linebackers to plug around the nose guard, but we need that nose guard. We really do. Unless Darius Alexander wants to play there, but I think he's more of a 3-tech. So very interested to see what continues on here. Yeah, Delane is good. You know, he went before Jermod McCoy. Jermod McCoy is the, in theory, highest rated corner, but he's got injury issues right now, so. Yeah. LSU corners. What do I think of the current state of Clash Royale? I think it's a lot better than it was a few months ago. To give you context, I just recently reached level 16, Princess Tower. So how I did that was I started playing in about 2021, 2022. So it's been like 4 or 5 years that I've been playing. In that stretch of time for about a year, I bought the Pass Royale and I grinded. It was when I was at college. That was all it took for me to get just about everything to level 14. Then they added level 15 and level 16. Obviously, everyone was very unhappy about that. I thought the evolutions were cool, but then they went and added heroes, and it really kind of threw me for a loop because I'm like, listen, like, I'm over here trying to collect evolutions, and you guys throw the heroes into it, and it felt like the economy of upgrading stuff was really, really bad. I mean, I wasn't getting past Royale for a long time at that point, and it really was hard to upgrade stuff from 13 to 14 and 14 to 15, and P.E.K.K.A. Mega Knight combo for the win. My combo was Mega Knight Sparky. You're talking about the big P.E.K.K.A., I presume. That is something I would like to do on the gaming channel too. Is some Clash Royale. It's nice and easy, but I think it's a lot better though. They made the big balance change. What they did with the chests and all that kind of stuff, I think is a lot better. I'm able to upgrade stuff. They reconfigured all of that. I think you're saying no way about me saying Mega Knight Sparky. Yeah, that's what I used. Mega Knight Sparky, Tornado, and E-Wiz. And then there's a couple other combinations of cards you can use otherwise. My favorite spell is definitely the Rocket. Super high skill, high reward. Using Rocket Tornado with Sparky Mega Knight is like, you can get the most insane comebacks like that. But yeah, I think it's a lot better now. I'm enjoying it a lot more. I still don't get the pass Royale, but I still play every day. It is a wicked combo. It's so stupid. People years ago used to complain about it, but once you get past like mid ladder, like it's honestly like it's not that hard to stop, especially if you have skeletons in your deck. It's very easy to counter the Sparky that way. And Mega Knight is like, yeah, the Evo helps it a little bit, but it's not too hard to counter. It is a wicked combo though. I honestly right now what I run the most is Expo. I run Icepo the most right now. I'm actually quite good at it, I would like to say. I think I'm quite good at Icepo, but yeah. The commander selection is in. But I would love to talk more about Clash Royale later. Sunny Styles to the Commanders. Oof. They needed that. They really needed a guy like Sunny Styles. Well, him and Orville Reese were very similar. We believe we got the better player. More developed player. So, very interesting. Orville Reese was born in 2005. Oh my gosh, man. I feel so old. Unreal. Sunny Styles was born in 2004. So he's even older than Orville Reese. That's crazy. But yeah, from what I've heard and seen, Orville Reese is kind of more refined as a tackler and things of that nature. Yeah, that Ohio State defense was insane that they were running out there. I wonder if Sunny Styles is salty that we took Orville Reese over him. I mean, it was his teammate, so. My buddy, the Cowboys fan, is probably furious right now. Orville Reese and Sunny Styles are both gone, and the Giants will still have a chance to select Caleb Downs. And then he'll be kind of forced to settle for Dylan Thieneman. Oh, man. According to Adam Schefter, despite drafting Orville Reese, the Giants do not intend to trade DNK Von Thibodeau. You know, something else I was thinking is, like, what if the Giants are intending on trading Brian Burns? And what if they trade, like, because they have no ties to Brian Burns. Technically, they have no ties to Abdul Carter either. But if Dexter Lawrence is tradable, then so is Brian Burns. And if they trade Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau for capital or offensive linemen or weapons or whatever it may be, and now you got Abdul Carter and Orville Reese off the edge, that would be pretty insane, and you'd be able to plug a lot of other holes. And you'd have a ton of money. Which isn't really as useful now, but New Orleans about to do something. Yeah, they're always kind of strange in the draft. Yeah. If he was there, we kind of had to take him. Is kind of how I feel about the Arvell Reese thing. Yeah, Arvell Reese is 20. I just texted my buddy. I bet you're in shambles. The Commanders got Styles, the Cowboys fan. The Browns. The Saints pick is in, and the Browns pick is in already. That's crazy. You don't think Harbaugh wants to get rid of them, though? I don't know. I really don't know. It's just, you have, at this point, you have 4 guys who would be best fitted as edge rushers, and Reese would be great as an off-ball linebacker. But I don't know. It's just like, you kind of have to. I just saw the report that apparently they don't intend on trading Kayvon Thibodeau, even after selecting Arvell Reese. Not that Reese has to play edge, but he's definitely going to mix in there. And you were already kind of forced into mixing in Kayvon with Carter. Or rather, Carter last year. So, I think we need other things a lot more than we need all 4 of those guys. So, even if it just means moving Kayvon and you play Reese off ball and rotate him in at edge. We need defensive tackle. We could use some better DBs. We'll see what happens here at pick 10. We need offensive linemen. A wide receiver, too, would be really nice. I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm really not too sure. It's definitely a very odd place to be for the Giants. I mean, there was a reason he was mocked to 2 over and over. And the only reason teams didn't want to do it is because he's a project. But it seems like the Giants aren't too concerned with winning now, drafting a 20-year-old and trading away Dexter Lawrence. But we could not make that draft pick without trading Dexter, so he'll be, 25 by the time his rookie contract is up. Could sign him to a 5-year extension. Talking about Arvell Reese. Could be a really nice long-term plan, but as I've said, we kind of have to win in this rookie contract. He's a project. He's considered that because he's 20 years old and he's barely played at edge, and that's where people want to play him. But he's been mostly an off-ball linebacker. That's what he's mostly been. And I feel like that's the only way it makes sense to make that pick right there is if you plan on playing him next to Edmonds. Mendoza's already got these commercials. They are ready to market this man. You're saying you're not that tapped in. I think you watch college football more than I do. I really think that's true. I would love to watch college football as much as some of my friends, but it's really hard to stay tapped into that and tapped into the channel at the same time. It's really difficult. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what they do. We're 3 picks behind because they keep showing these commercials, man. Get the damn picks out. Can we get the pick in, guys? Like, we are picks and picks and picks behind. Come on, Roger. Yep. Okay. The Saints select Jordan Tyson at number 8. The Giants don't have to concern themselves with taking him either. 2 wide receivers are off the board. Mekhi Lemon is still there. Denzel Boston, Omar Cooper Jr., Jeremy Bernard, kind of like a second-round guy. He'll be there. Mendoza was a guest speaker at your buddy's work conference. He is pretty big on LinkedIn, is he not? He's got quite the LinkedIn profile. Yes, Blue Skull, you are correct. Consume product. That's what they want us to do. That's crazy Mendoza was a guest speaker, though. That's sick. Seems like an awesome guy. Seems like a really awesome guy. Yeah, Tyson's super talented. It's just the injuries and stuff. Like, we didn't need to move up for a guy like that. If he was there, it's definitely worth considering, but man, I gotta stop looking at my phone before I get a spoiler. Yeah, I know. He's huge on LinkedIn. It's just like, dude, and you know, when a guy is like that, when a guy has got his life in order, it's a good sign. Yeah, great heart. You know he's going to be committed to the team. Just imagine, once he stops focusing on LinkedIn, not that it's like a bad thing, but when he can drive all of his attention towards football, he's gotten this far dividing his attention between football, that, and like all the things in his life. He'll still be a family man. He'll still do all that kind of stuff. But when his only job is to be an NFL quarterback, I think he's going to be good on the Raiders. I really do. Jordan Tyson's emotional. Oh, man. You'll love to see it. Yeah, he's emotional. That's good. He loves the sport. Very emotional. Good for Jordan Tyson. Good for him, man. Good for him. Giants are going to have options here at 10. The picks and picks and picks are all already made. This might be the fastest draft in history if we got through these commercials. Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, I know I literally said it too about his health. It's got to be tough when you're a guy who's gone through injuries, and everyone's just saying you're not worth it, right? They're saying you're not worth it. I've gone through injuries myself. I've never been some D1 athlete or anything anything of that nature. I did play D3, but going through injuries is tough, you know, especially when you've got hopes like this. I bet it's even worse. Man, I gotta focus. I'm sure you guys have seen it. When I think really hard, my lazy eye goes a little bit. I can control it, but if I'm thinking, it can go out. So, forgive me if that makes you a little uncomfortable. I would understand, and I wouldn't judge you for judging me, I guess. But anyhow, good for Jordan Tyson. Him and Chris Olave. good for him. But it's a nice combo. You know, you got two route runners. Tyson's a little bigger, so you get a nice decent variety there. But Tyler Shuck is going to have some weapons. They did kind of address the offensive line last year. I think the Giants should follow that process. Offensive line here, if not Caleb Downs. But you know what? If Dylan Thieneman is there in the bottom of the second or first, we could trade up and get him. But I also don't feel that Ardarius Washington is the lazy eye spew. Yeah, man, it's a real thing, you know. Like I said, I can control it, but when I'm thinking, like I'm going like into my brain, so I'm not thinking about what I'm seeing, and I don't notice that it's going, if that makes any sense. So it's just a fun fact about me, yeah. If I was ever on live TV, I'd have to pay real close attention to where my eyes are looking. You know, my buddy Mike hit me with one of the greatest quotes of all time, at the lunch table in high school, sophomore year. We're having a conversation. We're arguing, actually, back and forth. And he says to me, "Can you look at me with both of your eyes, please?" That was like a dagger, man. I felt that one. And I said, "I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to disrespect you." The Browns select Spencer Fano ahead of Francis Mauigoa. Wow. So he's available. Downs is available. Styles and Reese are gone. Man, what are the Giants going to do here? It seems like they're just obviously going to take Downs, but Mauigoa's on the board. Mekhi Lemon's on the board. Like if you wanted wide receiver, that's not really my thing. But I think, listen, you did something for the defense. You got to protect Jackson Dart. We cannot have Daniel Falele starting out there. No offense to him, but he is not the person who should be in charge of... He should not be in charge of protecting Jackson Dart. It's just that simple. We need to do a good job of making a line that produces an elite run game and gives Jackson Dart time to throw. They help every snap on offense. The pick is in for the Giants. Oh, man. Who's it going to be? I'm not looking at anything over here I don't want to see, in case you guys know already. Emmanuel Neil McWarren as well. That's another safety for depth that we could take later in the first round or in the second. It seems the NFL is colluding to allow safeties to fall right now. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Francis Mauigoa, that's right, baby! That's right! He's going to kick inside the guard. We are going to have a great offensive line because now your starters are left to right, Andrew Thomas, John Runyon, JMS, who can develop between all of these guys. Francis Mauigoa kicked in at right guard, and then Jermaine Illuminor at right tackle. Illuminor is going to be like 32 years old, guys. So whether it's when he retires that we can kick Francis Mauigoa outside, or he can be depth at either tackle position if one of them gets hurt, this season he can kick out to there. Maybe he's a better tackle than Illuminor, and we can kick Illuminor inside because Illuminor can get kicked inside. So this is a great pick for the future, just like Arvell Reese. I love this. I wasn't sure he'd be there at 10. I'm glad that when he was there, we took him. And Caleb Downs is falling, guys. Everyone was saying, oh, the Giants are going to take Caleb Downs. They're going to take Jeremiah Love. I said, you might be right. But honestly, I want Mauigoa. And my number 2 is Styles. I didn't think Arvell Reese would be there. If he was there, I would have put him ahead of Styles, even though he's younger. He's better. He's better at the linebacker stuff. So, man, Francis Mauigoa is a New York Giant. Welcome to the squad. I've been all over YouTube comments, Twitter, videos of my own saying, I want Francis Mauigoa. And he is here. Started all 42 career games at right tackle, but he can kick in. And like I said, if he's a better tackle, we can kick Illuminor inside. We got versatility now. .6'5", 330. Big man. Looks like he's got that wrestling macho to him with his ability to do these kind of tossing moves. He's doing the fire dancing. You love to see that. Wow. John Harbaugh and Joe Shane are glad. Is that Tish? Sell your percentage, Tish. This is an awesome draft. CeCe? He did the Will Campbell. He said he's ready to die for Jackson Dart. Seems like a great dude. Let's go. The Cowboys have traded up to the number 11 overall pick. I'm willing to bet that this is Caleb Downs. I'm willing to bet the Dolphins moved down one spot. Jerry Jones is going to say, oh, I got the steal of the draft in Caleb Downs. We'll see. But I'm willing to bet that's what's about to happen here. All right, commercial break. I am going to quickly use the bathroom. I'll be right back, boys. I'm back, baby. I'm gonna get this live stream out to my boys. There's a group of people who have not seen it yet. Excuse me. There's no one else in the room. Why'd I blow it away? All right, I'm hype. I'm going to pull up the Giants depth chart real quick. And I was saying it before. What should the Giants look for in the second round or potentially trading up into the bottom of the first if somebody falls? I would say you really want to look for wide receiver, safety, or defensive tackle as our biggest needs. Because in this draft, there is a ton of safeties. Dylan Thieneman, Emmanuel McNeil Warren, and Caleb Downs. Looks like they're falling, but I would guess that this is going to be Caleb Downs here at number 11. But yeah, it looks like Maui the starting offensive line. I said it. AT, Runyon at left guard, JMS at center, Maui Noah at right guard, and Jermaine Illuminor at right tackle. I love that. Starting defense. All right, here the pick is in. Caleb Downs. Okay. He might be a dog. So, Dylan Thieneman, Emmanuel and McNeil Warren are the safeties that are left. The wide receivers, Makai Lemon, Omar Cooper Jr., Jeremy Bernard, Chris Brazzell. Those are the four guys that I would say we look at in the second round. Christian Miller, is it the defensive tackle out of Georgia? Caleb McDonald. And then there's that Clemson defensive tackle. Woo. Peter Woods. But he's not really a scheme fit for us unless if we really wanted a thin defensive line. We need a nose guard. I think Kristen Miller, Caleb Banks, Cade McDonald. Looks like we can wait on those guys, but we don't have a third-round pick. So we'd kind of have to move up in the third round. So it looks like to me safety and wide receiver. This is what I've been saying about wide receiver too. There's always value in the second round. One of those four guys is going to be there. You even got KC Concepcion. Zachariah Branch, he had a little bit of issues legally that appeared. Might be nothing, but Denzel Boston, another one. There's going to be a wide receiver in the second round, so honestly, we shouldn't trade up, really. But I'm probably going to have to stay for the whole draft for this live stream just to see if any trade happens. I got to be live for it, so. Yeah, Caleb Downs is a dog, dude. Now he's on the Cowboys. They needed a guy like him. For most top 12 picks from the same school: Colonel Tate, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, and Caleb Downs. Now I get to kind of after this weekend, I can do a little bit of gaming. Let's go. We got the Cowboys cheerleaders. Love seeing it. Yes, the Giants did leave him on the board, but like I said, Dylan Thieneman's there. Man, this is and I was responding to someone in my chat who was talking about Jeremiah Love actually. He said, "Don't pass on Jeremiah Love. The Commanders will take him." And I said, "Dude, everyone that goes after you, you're not responsible for. You're not responsible to take like whoever comes after you and prevent them from going to the next team." Why am I saying this? Because the idea of keeping a player away from another team being the purpose that you're drafting him rather than filling an actual need on your team and improving your squad when, one, you're only going to play a division rival twice a year. You play with the guy you draft for 17 games. Like, Think about that right there. Yeah, they might play better in their other games. They might win more games. You need to win more games. Drafting a player that isn't the best fit for you is not how you win more games. It's not how you do it. Dolphins pick is in. They were able to trade back, acquire more capital in their rebuild. Probably going to, if I was them right here, I would take Mekhi Lemon, I guess. Or maybe Monroe Freeling. Beef up the offensive line even more. That wouldn't be bad. But whether it was Jeremiah Love, Caleb Downs, you got to take the best player for you. Francis Mauigoa was the right pick. I feel great about it. Here comes Goodell with his walkout song. Nice. Caden Proctor. Okay. So they go the Alabama tackle instead of Monroe Freeland. So they do bolster the offensive line. Who did they get last year? Kelvin Banks. No, it was Kenneth Grant. That's right. They bolstered the defensive trenches. That's right. But they do bolster the offensive line. They need that. I mean, and this is what I say to all rebuilding teams. You probably stink because your offensive line is bad. All of the best teams in the league have two things in common. Good offensive line, good coaching. The quarterback, you need a pretty decent quarterback, obviously, to make the most of it. But nothing against Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, and Brock Purdy, but guys like that who are on great teams, great offensive lines, with great coaching. That's why they look the way that they do. That's why. Patrick Mahomes even on the Chiefs. Take the best quarterback in the league. They got a great offensive line. They got great coaching. Second all offensive line, so it's coming apart. Same thing with the defensive line. They start to stink. They can't do the little things well. The Giants took a step forward towards that this year with this draft. Maui Noah, Reese, to help the defensive trenches in a sort of way, the front seven. There was no elite defensive tackle that we were going to be able to take, so I'm happy with all that. But for the Dolphins, it's really, tough to say where they're going. They trade Waddle. They signed Malik Willis, though. But I see them bolstering the offensive line, and I like that. They got a ton of picks. They're in the middle of a rebuild, but good for them. All those wide receivers are still on the board. Curious to see who the Rams go here. The pick is in. They keep showing these commercials, man. We don't need them. This draft could be over in not even 2 hours, I swear. If they didn't show all these commercials, dude. It kind of drives me crazy. I know they're going to show commercials, of course, but, does there have to be a commercial after every 3 picks, especially when they're all already in? There's an investigation going on. There's an investigation going on for the NFL for being, what's it called? Hostile towards its customers. I'm not even using the right word. It's unfair, marketing basically, or whatever, because they use so many streaming services to watch the whole season. And the commercials throughout the game, there's always so many. I mean, if you've ever been to a live NFL game, you'll notice this. There's no timeout, but the game will stop for 4 minutes. And you'll be like, why are we stopping? There's no timeout called. Oh, that's right. We got to show 10 commercials during the game. I don't know about you guys. I've had enough of this. It really bothers me. He's investigating them. Does it rhyme with Smash Patel or Mattel? Yeah. I think it is. I think it's the FBI. I don't know if it's them or Congress. The Department of Justice investigation. So it's the Department of Justice, not the FBI. The FBI is for Federal Bureau of Investigations. Is more for like, I believe more for like, I guess, violent, more terroristic type crimes. The DOJ is just any kind of crime, justice. However, whatever form that may come in. Don't get me started on all that stuff. We've gone down quite a few topics, but I typically try to stay away from the politics. It's no good for the pocket. But I will talk about it if it has to do with the NFL. Commercial break in progress. Dude, I'm watching it. There is no commercial right now. Show the draft. As much of a dream come true as it would be to be at the draft and waiting to get selected, man, would it just take forever. And why is Ruben Bain still on the board? There must really be some concern over his situation. No. Blue Score, you're good. No. I was stopping myself. You only asked about I actually brought it up. I brought up the investigation and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, they're not going to come after me for that. Believe me. They'll come at me for other stuff, but not that. Where is that dude? You talking about the illegal formation podcast, or just from him being in the chat? Because he has his own YouTube channel that he's kind of working on. I believe he's kind of put it on hold because he's got kind of a crazy work life. But he's around. I talked to him. The pick is in. Do we got to wait for all this? Oh, they're talking about the James Pierce Jr. situation, how they traded up for him, and he's in all this legal trouble now. Oof. Rough. Really rough. See, I could feel it. It was doing it again. My eye. Yeah, they're talking about Ty Simpson to the Rams. I don't really know. I think they're all in on this year. You like the idea of Jordan loving it, but it's like, dude, they got to spend every pick they have on trying to win this year. It's really bothering me how they're dragging this out, man. I bet the next, yeah, it says the pick is in and they're still running the clock. Dude. Finally, Roger. Do the Eagles draft a player with a DUI or murder charge? I don't know if anyone has a DUI. Ruben Bain had reckless driving. I don't think anyone has a murder charge. Wow! The Rams did take Ty Simpson. Oh my God. They're planning for him to be the future. Man, I mean, I know that they have so many draft picks, and they're very good at drafting late. And there's only so many players that could start on them, but you really used your first round pick to get him. I guess they were afraid of the Jets, the Cardinals. They really believe in him and in his processing. He's not the biggest quarterback, but he suffered some injuries in college, but he looked really good the first half of the year. Great fit for Ty Simpson. I mean, it is a great fit for anyone who goes to the Rams, really, because Sean McVay will find a way to cater the offense to you if it's needed. But the way that they run their offense, just that offensive system, who wouldn't want to play there, really? I'm gonna turn on my fan, man. It is hot in here. Let me tell you, and I'm gonna even switch into some shorts. You guys are gonna see a little spinny fan on the ceiling, but you know, Scooter's getting hot, man. I am getting hot over here. Sweating in this chair, waiting while they show their consume commercials. Consume, please, consume more. Yes. Buy my 10 streaming services to watch every game in the NFL, please. Here I am, like, trash in the NFL. I got, like, a whole YouTube channel about it. How ungrateful. This is always a long night. I see my favorite YouTuber right now, that franchise guy, is streaming. He's got 1.3K watching right now. Great for him. I've been subbed to him for, it's been almost a decade now. I think it was like my sophomore year of high school I found him because he was doing Madden rebuild videos. Best analytical football YouTube channel that there is. That franchise guy. To the 3 people watching this right now, if you're not subscribed to him and you're interested in football analytical videos, breakdowns, player rankings, power rankings throughout the season. He's got a Patreon too, where he does studs and duds, you know, players going up and down in ratings throughout the season. He's an awesome guy too. I love watching him. He's awesome. There's lots of great football YouTubers out there, but he's been my favorite forever. Let's go, Ty Simpson. Giving glory to God. You know, this is a crazy world we live in. It's a nice message to send out to people. Very, very humble guy. Yes, I need an ice pack, man. It is hot in here. But I turned on the fan. I opened a window. I should be pretty good. Looks like, yeah, you can see the rotating shadow above my head is what it is. You got to compromise a little bit. The Ravens pick is in. Are we going to show a commercial after one pick? Probably. No? If you had the option to have your channel as one of these zillion ads during the draft for free, would you accept? It's a great question. My thing is with advertising is I love when people organically find my channel, kind of like how you did. You find one of my videos, it's what you wanted to see. You like it. You subscribe, I keep posting, and you find more videos like that. Advertising is huge. Brand dealings is huge. When you're working on something like a YouTube video, you have to consider doing that stuff. I'd be kind of a fool to say no. You know, if I got to advertise my channel to pretty much everybody watching the draft and, everybody who's there, it would definitely be cool. It'd be a great opportunity. But at the same time, I would have to basically meet all of the expectations of, say, getting like 50,000 subscribers out of nowhere. Like, I just got a new job. I'm kind of like working on this like at a pace that's going along with my life, in the sense that if it gets big enough one day, maybe I can consider making it all I do. Maybe. And that would be cool. But, yeah, I wouldn't want to disappoint the people, is I guess what I'm saying. I would have to make the advertisement myself, and I would say yes. If it was up to me to make the commercial, I would say yes. But if it was like some pampered, like I have to say like, sponsored by this person and I've never even communicated with them and like maybe I don't believe in what they're selling or whatever. I don't know. It'd be kind of, I don't know that I'd feel right saying yes to that. Ravens take Vega Owane. Great pick for them. Awesome pick for them. He was someone I was interested in for the Giants. He seems like a can't miss guy. They lost Daniel Falele, so they kind of need to get a replacement there, even though he's anything over him might be an upgrade, even though he's a Giant now. But yeah, as to answer your question, I'd be kind of dumb to say no. I really would be. But there would definitely be some hesitation from me just because I would want to do it the right way. Let me see what that word is. I don't know who these people are that you're talking about. Pat. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of like the way I've been growing the channel. It's been kind of up to me to, figure out what works for me. Shorts have been a great way to basically advertise the channel, get subscribers that way. People stay along for the ride. Doing better, more quality content, doing it at the right rate, not overwhelming people with too much, and making content the right length so I can post most consistently. And it's been that journey that's been really the fun part. As much as I was killing myself while doing it, I actually passed out a couple of times in the last summer, because I was not drinking enough water, taking terrible care of my body, and not sleeping because I was editing those episodes. And but I was so glad I did those episodes. Those are the best videos I've ever done. The What's Stopping Dak Prescott video, the breakout video. Hit up my boy Prestige Polls. Little collab. See pull card packs. That would always be pretty cool. I know selling cards is like a big thing a lot of people do. But yeah, it's I kind of like growing the channel the way I have been, and I've also thought about doing the gaming stuff too. So you never know what might happen there. I just love YouTube. I grew up on YouTube. Like the old school YouTubers like PewDiePie and all those types of guys. There's a bunch of them that I used to watch, and maybe it's the nostalgia of looking back at it, but I really do feel like YouTube was a little more special and genuine back then. I'm trying to do my best to keep that with me as I go through all of this. So it's very much more like business nowadays. It's what it seems like. Lots of dudes still on the board. That commercial was quick, so we're back at it. Oh, man, I'm cooling off. Thank God I put on those shorts, man. Ooh, and turned on the fan. That helped big time. It's going to be a long draft to sit through here. So you got to be comfortable, Got to be comfortable for it. Pull card packs, you do a sponsor. I'd love to talk to him. If he's your boy, maybe you can get me and him connected, and I'll get in communication with him, and we can talk about that. That'd be sick. Do you know what kind of fan he is? Is he a fan of a particular team? Bucks fans are getting rowdy right now. Oh, on Whatnot? I think I have Whatnot. My brother asked me to download it for packs and stuff like that. It was for like SpongeBob cards or something like that. I actually have them. But that's a cool app. That was kind of a fun night when I was doing that. So I can imagine how it is for pulling football cards. And good for him for finding success on it. Because that's almost like YouTube, early days of YouTube, where that's kind of like a new thing. So when people are able to jump on a new thing, I always think that's really cool. To be opportunistic like that. What happened to my audio? I cannot hear the draft. Let me refresh the page. The Buccaneers select Ruben Bain. What a pick. What a pick by them. Unbelievable that he fell that far, really. Time to go into system sounds and figure out what's going on here. It says it's coming through my headset. I don't. There we go. Scooter was being a dummy. He's an Eagles fan. I got lots of friends who are Eagles fans. But that is unfortunate. It's all right. He probably knows plenty about the Giants too then. I'd love to have him on and talk about the Eagles maybe after the draft or something. Ruben Bain. I do think it's like when you're at the draft and you get to basically give the commissioner a hug. I know everyone feels a certain way about like Roger Goodell. That's cool. You kind of get to immediately meet like the owner of the NFL. Yeah, Akeem Mesidor is still on the board. Let's check out his gram. I looked it up on Instagram or on the internet and saw his Instagram. 10K on Instagram. Nice. Yeah, it would definitely be. Looks like he's very successful. Yeah, Ruben Bain was someone I was like, if the Giants had let go of like someone who wasn't a nose guard, we could take him. We could take him and he could be like that 3-tech defensive tackle, fill that gap, but we do not need that. Mekhi Lemon's still on the board. What did he say in those interviews? Mekhi Lemon, Kenyon Sadiq, Monroe Freeland, Jermad McCoy, Akeem Mesidor, Dylan Thieneman, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, Avion Terrell, Denzel Boston, Omar Cooper, Keldrick Falk. There's a lot of solid prospects still on the board, especially wide receivers. Pick us in for the Jets at number 16. Jets fans, you've got David Bailey. What else are you going to do that Ty Simpson is now gone? You gotta love Jets fans, man. Some of the most committed fans out there. Let's go, Jets. What do we got here? The pick is in. They're going to drag it out. Where are you, Roger? Make the card. Walk it out. Feel like they should go offensive line. Replace AVT. Kenyon Sadiq. Great player. Great player. Kind of like that smaller tight end, 6'3", 240. Almost like George Kittle. Probably a little lighter, though. But ran a 4.39. Dude's athletic. When you watch the highlights live, as you're seeing with me, you'll see what I mean with the Kittle stuff. I mean, he's split out wide. Dude, he looks like a wide receiver out there. Almost, he's like Derrick Henry, really, is the way he's built. Wow. Hurdle the guy. He's a beast. Nice little deep ball. Strong hands. Yeah. Dude, he's a dog. Don't know how I feel about him dynasty-wise. Dynasty's interesting, though, right now, man. Because I'm, like, looking at these picks. I'm like, we've seen Love go to the Cardinals. He's paired with Algier. Tyson goes to the Saints. Paired with Olave and Shuck is going to be his quarterback. It's not bad. Ty Simpson, Rams quarterback. Backup for the time being. And then Sadiq is the next weapon to go off the board to the Jets. Looks like a lot of these wide receivers are going to go to much better teams later in the draft and are going to be like the better dynasty picks, I would say. Like you get Mekhi Lemon. Oh, yeah, I forgot Carnell Tate to the Titans. I did forget about him. He's going to be the number one. And you got Wandale in the slot. That's pretty solid. Cam Ward's a good quarterback. Brian Dable, that's his guy. Is Carnell Tate. See something he likes big time in him. So, like I said, that's Dynasty's like interesting. It's just in an interesting spot. I really want to know where Mekhi Lemon's going to go. Because he seems to be like kind of that slot wide receiver, even though he can also kind of do it all. Looks like it's going to project really well. I think the Eagles could use a guy like that, especially if they trade A.J. Brown June 1st. Like, Smitty can play in the slot, but I feel like you kind of want him outside as that like perimeter deep threat and route runner. The Panthers, maybe. The Lions, I don't know if they need another guy like Lemon. Maybe Boston. The Steelers, they need a lot of things. The Chargers. The Eagles, though, I do like that spot for them. The Bills, you do have Shakir and DJ Moore. And I guess they have hope for Keon Coleman. 49ers going to move on from Ayuk, even though he wasn't even there last year. Texans, you know, you have Jaden Higgins, Nico Collins, and you have Jalen Noel. But, you know, they need offensive line, so they really shouldn't. The Chiefs, at 29, I really would like to see who they end up taking. If Mekhi Lemon falls to the Chiefs or Denzel Boston, that would be pretty sick. Omar Cooper Jr. to the Chiefs, dude, that would be insane. With Rashee Rice and all the trouble he's facing. The Patriots, I really don't want to touch anything that's going on with them right now. Pretty crazy. I talked about it before the live stream. Everything that's going on with them. Juice Reels too. It's for betting. Got connects with them. But that's through friends of friends. Helps sports bettors track their overall wins and losses to ensure they're profiting. That's a good service. It's a great service. Something probably a lot of people should do. Probably a lot more people should be doing that. Because how would you know if you need to stop if you don't know how much you've lost, right? And how much you've profited if you are profiting. I was doing the best bets thing early on, but I just kind of like betting like here and there now. It's 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 so intoxicating. It's so fun to do, but I think I'm gonna limit myself to season-long bets and maybe like one bet a week, at best. Whether it be a parlay or just a lock. I think I'm a lot better at just doing a bunch of like small locks and trying to nickel and dime it. But gambling is something you should only do responsibly. The pick is in for the Lions at 17. I really wonder what they're going to do here. Is that Mekhi Lemon receiving a call, or is he just scrolling? Stream is doing pretty solid so far, guys. We've had 32 people come in and out so far. We got 3 watching live right now. Thank you all who are still there. I presume that would be Pat, Blue Skull, and me, who's watching myself to make sure that nothing's going wrong. All right, looks like we got this pick coming out. Hope I'm not, yeah. Okay. Sorry, you guys. There's only so much to say while you're watching sometimes. For the Lions, I don't know. I mean, they're kind of in purgatory right now, if you ask me. They're too good to be bad and get bad draft picks. But they have a chance to get some great players right here. What are they going to declare that they need? Blake Miller tackle. This is why they stay pretty solid. Because they take linemen. Good teams take linemen. And you'll love seeing a guy with his family. Wow. You really love to see it. Thank you, everyone who's dropped a like so far. Let me guess, the next pick is in already. Oh, Blake Miller's got a wrestling background. Any offensive lineman who has ever wrestled. Great player. Not all of them, but if they have the size and the, played in like the SEC or D1 in general and they wrestled, good chance they're a pretty solid player if they got the size. They have such great body control. Wrestling is, in my opinion, the hardest sport. You can argue that with like technique and stuff like that, with like table tennis and all that kind of stuff. I know what you mean, but just from like a sheer will, like the amount of mental challenges you face when you're wrestling someone it's intense, and it's a real test of your mental fortitude. Yeah, this just seems like a Dylan Thieneman pick to replace Harrison Smith. Giants are probably going to have to say goodbye to that one in the second round right here. Yeah, they just said the same thing. Harrison Smith's clone. Okay. Good. Caleb Banks, defensive tackle out of Florida. Wow. Okay. First defensive tackle off the board. Wasn't necessarily who I was expecting or even to go this high. But I guess they want to stop the run more. I mean, I feel like they really had, like, you know, I mean, they got Kyler, so their quarterback situation's fine. They're fine at wide receiver. Running back, I thought maybe Jadarian Price could go. Kind of high, though. They have Dalvin Tomlinson still. They did need defensive tackle, I guess. Yeah, so that's a solid pick for them. He's a big run stopper, 6'6", 327. Big dude, nose guard. Very Dexter Lawrence-esque, except Dexter was bigger. He was heavier. Man, I can't believe we traded Dexter Lawrence. Hey, we got Mauigoa for it, though. More important than the block. It's more important than the block right now. Yeah, you know what's crazy? I'm not talking about Caleb Banks in particular when I say this. Like, statistically, like, half of these guys are going to bust. Like, there's all this hype around all these players. Half of them are going to bust. Yeah, hardest workout sport. It's definitely one of the hardest. It might even be the hardest. Especially since half the time those dudes are dropping weight. You're dropping weight. You're not nourishing yourself. But man, being someone who played, believe it or not, I played offensive line in high school. I switched to like tight end in college, like H-back, kind of fullbacky. But as an offensive lineman, you don't really get that much of like a you scored or you made a huge play. You're just doing your job. Defense was fun for that reason. But in wrestling, it's just you and the other guy. So if you win or lose, it is on you, man. And if you win, it is your reward. You won. It was just you. Sure, your coach is out there shouting stuff. You never hear through your headgear. You hardly ever hear. I think I maybe heard like 4 or 5 things before through my headgear that my coach said, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Let me do that. And you're gassed. Yeah, dude. Oh, my God. It's just like after the first 45 seconds, if you get into a scramble, prepare to be gassed for like the next 6 minutes because you are not going to recover in those like little 30 seconds between the periods. And it's just, but man, it was just awesome. Dude, wrestling was sick. Gets a bad rap sometimes from some people who judge it, but it's pretty sick. That jiu-jitsu, boxing, all those combat type sports, I have a lot of respect for, so. We're on commercial break again. Man, dude. See, we got any subscribers? Any new subscribers from the stream? Maybe. We have. Or it might be from the shorts. The shorts are cooking right now. They're doing very well. Let's go, boys. Thank you all for the support. Much appreciated. Seems like 30 to 40 seconds is the money length of time for the shorts, by the way. If you're ever thinking about making them. Yeah, it doesn't show me any subscribers from this, so. Man. They just keep showing these commercials, man. It makes it real tough to kind of react. But let's look at who's next. Try to predict who's going to get picked and where. So up next, we are in the second half of the draft by now. We're at pick 19. We got the Panthers. Wide receiver. A lot of good wide receivers still on the board here. Do you believe in Leggett? Because you have Tet McMillan. You have Leggett as like the 3. And, oh my gosh, what's his name? Escaping me right now. Coker, that's who it is. Jalen Coker. So wide receiver probably not the biggest need. They still have Chuba. Jonathan Brooks is coming back. They have Jatavion Sanders. Sadiq is gone. Probably defense. Well, they're up, so let's see. Well, Monroe Freeling, offensive line. You can't go wrong there. You really cannot go wrong. Great pick at 19. This dude's a monster. 6'7", 315. Long arms. Played at Georgia. Good balance. Especially at that size. He's going to be a great player. Between him, Icky, like, you're going to have a future for a long time when it comes to offensive line. Apparently his mom's a yoga instructor, whatever that's worth. Dude, that was false start, actually, I think. Dude totally clamped up that dude, though. Yeah, it looks like he's running his feet pretty well in the run game. Getting across, double team chip up to the backer. Wow, nice flip of the hips. Yes, getting across, so he's backside. He gets across the play side linebacker's face and gets his hips between him and the running back, pushing him back towards the middle of the field. And he is hype. You know that dude loves football right there. So up next is the Eagles, yeah. I did get a bit of a spoiler, but I did kind of call this out, that they could use a guy like this. And I think this is a really, really good pick. 6'7", yeah, man. Peace out, Pat. Nice seeing you, man. Damn. Eagles got Makai Lemon, dude. That sucks. Damn. That is scary, man. If they keep AJ Brown, dude, I mean, they still need, I thought offensive line would have been the pick there, but damn, dude. That is just scary. I mean, they still kind of need, like I said, to help the offensive line. I'm not sure about the scheme. I'm not sure about Hurts' future in the long run, but they're going to have him and Smitty for the next 10 years or so. Next, maybe 5, I would say, but I do like the draft hallway that they walk through with all the logos and stuff. It's pretty neat. Yeah, as much as I would love to go through and trim all, like, it's going to be like hours of this live stream. I could, like, trim it up, I think, in the YouTube studio. Dude, it would take so long. It would take so long to do that. We'll see what happens, but I don't think I'm going to have time to do that. I'm probably just going to trim up the opening segment and then the Giants, their first 2 picks, go from there. Got to put the timestamps in here, so I am going to have to kind of go through and find where every pick is. That's going to be brutal. That is going to be utterly brutal. But yeah, Makai Lemon on the Eagles, dude, honestly, he's got to be one of the top guys in Dynasty. I mean, would you rather have Makai Lemon on the Eagles or Carnell Tate on the Titans? Maybe Carnell Tate on the Titans because he's the number 1. But Makai Lemon, like, I mean, he never won the Heisman like Devontae Smith, but dude, he's a dog, and he's going to play in the slot. Could command a lot of volume. The comp is Julian Edelman. Wow. All right, we got 12 more picks. Unreal. Can't believe they got him. Well, let's look at best available. We still got Denzel Boston, who really is the proper fit for the Giants as the big perimeter guy. Omar Cooper Jr. is still on the board. The Steelers fans are going crazy as their pick is in. Casey Concepcion, Jeremy Bernard, Chris Brazzell, Zachariah Branch. Bunch of great wide receivers. Giants don't need to move up, but we'll see what they do. See if they decide to move up. Ted Hurst, a very interesting guy. 6'4", 206. Pretty insane combine. They got sticks to tell them the pick is in. We're doing like a bunch of walkout songs to this. All right. All right, what do I think they need? Ty Simpson's gone. Oh, you know what? I did hear that they were pretty high on Carson Beck. Maybe he goes in the first round. Would be pretty insane. He did bring them to the national championship. Yeah, you guys are showing highlights from 1970. I get it. Just a little concert in between picks, right? Man, they're just going on and on. I mean, after like the first 12 picks, there's probably a lot of fat I could trim. What I think I could do is when I go into YouTube Studio, I can look at where there is and is not audio frequencies and pick them out. That's probably what I'm going to do. We got Jerome Bettis coming out to announce the pick. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, I'm not deaf. Okay, last time Jerome Bettis announced a pick, it was TJ Watt. Max Ihanachor. I don't think that's how you say it. I don't think that's how you say it, Jerome. Let's see. Is that the way it's pronounced? Is that truly how? So they take an offensive lineman. First pick of the Mike McCarthy era. Offensive lineman. It is Ihanachor. It is Ihanachor. Alright, so I'm wrong. Was he like... I think that was definitely not who most teams had near the top when it comes to offensive linemen. I mean, Caleb Lomu was still there. Jennings Dunker was still there. Jennings, I believe it is. Yeah, I mean, just with all the dudes that are still there, Jermod McCoy is falling crazy far. I mean, I know he's got like the injury stuff, but he's a great player. Dylan Thieneman's still on the board. And this is what I was saying for the Giants with Caleb Downs. We can possibly get Dylan Thieneman in the second. If Omar Cooper, Chris Brazzell, they're gone, Jeremy Bernard. Yeah, like if all those wide receivers are gone, I'm looking at Dylan Thieneman or a defensive tackle. Okay, we got some Steelers fan. What's up, girls? Chargers pick is in. 1 second, boys. The Chargers pick is to be announced. Let's see who they go with. Yeah, we are at 2 hours and we're almost done. I suppose this is actually kind of fast. Akeem Mesidor. Khalil Mack's getting up there. Yeah. Excuse me. Jim Harbaugh getting another player for that defense. I like it. I do. I mean, he fell kind of far. A lot of people thought he was going to go in like the 15 range, maybe to like the Buccaneers or something. But the Chargers, I really like where they're going next year, getting both their tackles back. Omarion Hampton, he'll be back. He had a high ankle sprain last year. He looked really good when he played. You could say what you will about Mesidor playing opposite of Ruben Bain. They were both part of that ferocious defensive front. I mean, you saw them in the national championship just eating the best team in football. Versatile guy. Can help against the run, too. Dense rusher. And up next, we got the Cowboys at 23. Now, this is very interesting because they spent their first-round pick on Caleb Downs. They got a really good player. And now they're up again. And you could argue Jermod McCoy would be a monster steal here, depending on his health. Commercial break, nice. Gotta love the commercial breaks. Here I am getting salty. But let's think about this. Best players who are still available. Akeem Mesidor's gone. So it's Jermod McCoy, Dylan Thieneman, who they really don't need. They signed a safety. So Avion Terrell or Jermod McCoy would be really, really good picks right here, I think, for them. Depending on the George Pickens stuff, you could go wide receiver like Omar Cooper Jr., Denzel Boston as like a Pickens replacement. If you want to go edge, you can go crazy and go Keldrick Falk. Defensive tackle, they should be good now with Quinnen Williams. They traded Osa, and they have also Kenny Clark. Linebackers are kind of gone after those top two went. You can go Anthony Hill Jr. or Rodriguez maybe. Yeah, I don't really know. I think Avion Terrell, if you're afraid of the Jermod McCoy injuries. But they also have Siobhan Vrabel, who was coming off of injury last year and kind of had to, couldn't really get it going. Got in halfway through the year. You want to do that again? Maybe Vrabel can pay off this year, and then McCoy can pay off next year. These next 2 years for the Cowboys can be really their window. The division, realistically, they should be competing with the Eagles for it, and then maybe even the Giants. NFC should just be a lot better next year. I mean, they had a down year. Commercial break in progress. Well, if you're showing it, then that's for TV, isn't it, I guess? You could just show the picks. See, we could definitely knock out these last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we got 9 picks left. Dude, we could knock this out by... They definitely plan it to run until 11. No doubt. But yeah, I'll probably trim up the live stream. I don't know if I can do that with live streams. It might only be videos I can trim. I could be wrong about that, but we'll see. It's probably not even worth it. Probably just do the timestamps and call it a day. I mean, you know what it is when you're watching a live stream. Who did Miami get number 30 from? Was that the Rams? No. They traded their pick to the Chiefs, the Rams did, for McDuffie. So if that's the Rams, then the Patriots played the Broncos for Jalen Waddle. That's how they got that one. Cowboys pick is in. All right. I think maybe Keldrick Falk, the beastly defensive end. Malachi Lawrence. That's a Jerry Jones pick right there. Well, they improved the defense. 6'4", 253. UCF, as we said, looks like he's beefy upper body. Looks like a Kayvon Thibodeau build, except not quite as tall. Looks like he's very twitchy. Very fast. Great at the combine. 40-inch vertical. 10-10 broad jump. I'd like to see his bend. Okay, up next is the Cleveland Browns at number 24. So the teams that have had 2 first-round picks so far, the Giants, they go Arvell Reese and Francis Mauigoa. The Cowboys, they go Caleb Downs and Malachi Lawrence. Who else had 2? The Jets, they go David Bailey and Kenyon Sadiq. Okay. Not bad. The Dolphins will be up soon. They got Caden Proctor. And then towards the end, they'll have the number 30 overall pick. The Eagles, they got Mekhi Lemon, dude. They got a beast. They got an absolute beast. I'm nervous about that. But to the guys who say we should have taken Jeremiah Love, should we have taken Mekhi Lemon at 5 or 10 so he didn't fall to the Eagles? No, I'd rather have Francis Mauigoa and help our team win. Another commercial break after 1 pick. What are we doing, guys? Like, seriously. After 1 pick, are you going to show one between every break just to make sure this goes till 11? Like, pretty absurd. Let's see how the squad is doing in fantasy baseball real quick. My pitchers went off this week. I'm currently up about 150 points. Four pitchers combined for 74. You love to see it. Losing in my other league. It's all good, though. Very interesting, though, for the Giants with Arvell Reese. I think he's going to play off-ball linebacker. That's what it seems like. Not sure where else he would go. Let's see what the Bears do. Browns pick is in. Let's see it. Enough of this. These commercials, man. Let's just burn through the rest of this. We don't need commercials after every pick. Wow, look at that kid with the brown suit. Looking snazzy. Here comes Roger. You know, Casey Concepcion. Nice. Denzel Boston still on the board. He's the guy who's really good at everything, but his only concern is might be drops. Might be drops, but the dude is a baller. Dude is great with the ball in his hands. Fast, explosive, twitchy. Explosive. Wow, look at this speed. Wow, his acceleration is unbelievable. Punt returns. I believe they gave him a bunch of carries too. Yeah, that dude is really athletic. At worst, you've got your kick returner. 3,150 all-purpose yards and 30 total touchdowns in college. Yeah, so they take Spencer Fano and Casey Concepcion. You got Quinshon Judkins and Harold Fannin. They've still got work to do on the offensive line, but Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson should have something to work with this year. Quinshon's a beast. Fannin's a beast. Spencer Fano should be good. Bear down. Bears are going to be up. You love seeing some passionate football fans, I got to say. Very refreshing. After a long off season. You cannot be for real. Another commercial after one pick. There is less time between picks. Yo, they are driving me crazy with this, dude. It's like, guys, like, the draft is awesome. It really is. But it really, really breaks up your attention when we've gone through about, like, the picks have been in. And it feels like in 20 minutes, we've seen 2 picks and 3 commercial breaks. Like, guys, what are we doing? Like, I've been complaining for the past hour about this. They're going to listen to me now. Absolutely not. No. But, dude, like, this is the thing with televising this kind of thing. You are intentionally breaking it up so that it fits into a 3-hour gap. And I'm like, dude, you know how amazing this would be to watch if we just went straight through it? I'm not saying no commercials, but maybe like every 8 picks, a commercial. I could deal with that. You know, you get one after the top 8, all right, all good, you know. After the Saints, all right, we'll take a commercial break. All right, after halfway through the draft, we'll take another one. 24, right here would have been another one. And then, you know, right before the very end, maybe, right before the last pick. Guys, there's been like 5 commercial breaks in the past, like 10 picks, I swear. Dude, it is ridiculous. It's how they make most of their money, I understand. But, man, is it just frustrating as can be to watch. You can see my lazy eye going because I'm definitely getting tired too. But dude, like, this draft could already be over for real. It really could be, and they're not doing it. Okay, the Bears are up at 25. Okay, I just vented in a group chat. Okay, Dylan Thieneman to the Bears. They lost Brisker, so now they got their replacement. Maybe even better. That's going to be a phenomenal pick for them. 6 foot and an eighth, 200 pounds, 4.35. People thought he was going to the Vikings to replace Harrison Smith. No, he goes to the division rival Bears. Very interesting. Love what the Bears are looking like this upcoming season. I'm really high on them. Really big Ben Johnson guy. Yeah, look at him close sideline to sideline. Oh, what an interception. Okay, so now Emmanuel McNeil-Warren is the safety that is left for the Giants to consider in the second round. But it looks like he might be gone, and it could be a wide receiver for the Giants. I mean, there's tons of wide receivers left. Best available, we got Denzel Boston. Avion Terrell in the second round would be insane. I mean, we can go 3 picks on the defense. Or 2 picks on the defense and offensive line, and I would love that. Omar Cooper, Denzel Boston, Chris Brazzell, Jeremy Bernard. Okay, who's up next? Bills at 26. Did a trade occur here? I believe a trade occurred. I may switch to the Pat McAfee show. just so I don't have to watch these commercials, dude. Yeah, this is way better already. Wow. Yeah, the defense, they needed help there. And it's like, for this Bears team, they got Caleb on the rookie contract. I said Jaden Daniels was like the best quarterback from that class after year one. I don't feel bad about saying that he had the best rookie season of all time. But for Caleb to look the way he did last year and to do what he did in the playoffs and to have a coach and a team that feels a lot more sustainable than the Commanders, I feel like it is going to be Caleb who is going to be the best quarterback from that class. Because to me, all three of the top three guys went to the playoffs so far in their careers. One of these things was not like the other. And I don't want to hear it that Drake May had the worst supporting cast. Caleb Williams dealt with the Bears in his rookie season. Drake May dealt with the Patriots. Jaden Daniels took a Commanders team his rookie year to the NFC Championship team that had Terry McLaurin as a wide receiver, an average at best offensive line, Zach Ertz, and a defense that clearly was really not all that great and just got a couple turnovers here and there. But Daniels was phenomenal, and the fourth down conversions was truly special. But in the Texans here, they select guard Keelan Rutledge. That's a great pick for them. They need the offensive line help desperately, so for them to get C.J. Stroud some protection is this is probably where the Giants will be selected next year. So yeah, it's not impossible to get offensive line help around this pick, but pretty solid pick for them. Love to see them doing what they can to address the offensive line. But back to Caleb, May, and Daniels. Daniels' rookie year was spectacular. That Commanders team was not all that great. We saw the regression coming a mile away, though. Their regular season schedule was easy as can be. They beat the Buccaneers, which was a great win. They beat the Lions. They were destroyed with injuries. But the Eagles were a far superior team. But it's not like the Commanders' offense did nothing in that game. Drake May really didn't do anything to impress me in the playoffs. Is the Patriots team better than the Commanders? The team overall is. They made the Super Bowl, but the teams that they beat, the Texans, who are completely compromised on the offensive line, the Chargers, same deal, then the Broncos, who had no quarterback. And it's not like the Patriots offense did really anything, or Drake May, to impress me along the way. It was the defense, which was definitely the best defense between those three guys. It carried them to a Super Bowl, and that offense couldn't do anything versus the Seahawks. And then Caleb. You get the Caleb. Yep, he's got Ben Johnson. He's got, the best offense surrounding him for sure. But what he's able to do in the clutch truly stands out to me. And the talent that he has is right up there with any of these three guys. It's probably the best. That's why I went first overall. And the Bears have only gotten better, so really good for them. And I feel like Caleb, he's got a strong argument to be, holding up as that number one overall pick. So But yeah, this is it really that tough of an ask for them not to show a commercial after each and every pick, dude? I mean, I got the Pat McAfee show over here. Yeah, and I think that what they're talking about right now is the character. I think the reason so many draft picks fail, number one, situation for sure. Situation, like if you're not put in the right spot by the coaches or you're on a bad organization, that can work against you. But I think character. You cannot read character in these guys. I truly think, like, even the players on bad teams will figure it out in bad situations because they find a way. They figure out what they have to do, and then they do that. And if it doesn't work for them there, it'll work somewhere else. But the people who are like all-time busts, sure, you could have your confidence destroyed by a bad organization and just kind of be a journeyman. But I think a lot of the time it really is like they didn't want to work hard enough. They didn't want to do the little things, and it eventually caught up to them. Why is it that half of these guys miss? Because it's about a 50% chance that, they aren't committed to the sport. They aren't committed to what they want, and they want the money. They want the NIL, they want the NFL contract, and this is nothing new. But I just feel like it's an interesting way of thinking about why some of these guys don't hit. Safe picks are good picks, more often than not. You can take risks, but if you're taking risk on character, that is a massive risk to take. You better be very sure that that person is committed to the sport. Pick 27. Nice. We've moved 4 picks in... No, 5 picks in about 40 minutes. Maybe 6 picks in an hour. Guys, this is ridiculous. It really is absolutely ridiculous. I couldn't imagine being one of these people at the draft and seeing a commercial break between every pick after seeing the pick is in, and you're just waiting there. Like, my God. It would appear... Is the Pat McAfee show ahead of the NFL Plus live stream? Are you for real? It would appear it is. Unbelievable, dude. The Dolphins select Chris Johnson. I am turning off the NFL Plus live stream. Why would I watch this when I could watch the Pat McAfee show? They're partially sponsored. They're not showing all these commercials. They're talking about the draft. Like, what are we doing here? Okay, I'm doing this next year for sure. So the Dolphins give major help to their defense and offensive line with their first 2 picks. Very good for them. They moved up to get Chris Johnson. The Patriots traded with the Bills. Wow. Give me 1 second, boys. Yeah, so the Pat McAfee show is ahead of the actual NFL Plus cast of the draft, which is, what are we doing? what are we doing here? Like, all respect to Pat McAfee, but I'm like, shouldn't the NFL Plus draft be first ahead? How is it like this? Who are the Patriots going to take that they traded up for with a division rival? Caleb Lomo, tackle. After you have Morgan Moses, but I guess this is for the future. And Will Campbell. Maybe you can kick him inside. That is pretty nuts, man. But you cannot hate on drafting offensive linemen. You really cannot. It is the way to go. Yeah, he's a left tackle. Yeah, is this pushing Will Campbell to guard? Yeah, very, very interesting pick by the Patriots here. Very telling. Mike Vrabel probably does have hands-on with this, even though he's, you know, allegedly going to be with his family, I guess, on Saturday. But it's just pretty pretty nuts what's going on with the Patriots, because they're going to be playing a much more difficult schedule this upcoming season, and for them to lose the Super Bowl the way they did, it's got to be like demoralizing. And with all this going on with the coach too, you're gonna have a Super Bowl hangover, and then all the distractions on top of it. You really got to provide some stability. So I think this is a good pick in order to do that. And ultimately, I don't have a lot of faith in them for the upcoming seasons, that they're gonna live up to what they just did. Maybe if they build through the rest of this draft and, make an A.J. Brown trade, things can work out in their favor. But it just, I don't know. I think they kind of had everything go right. They were relatively healthy. And to have all that happen again is definitely going to be a big challenge. So that's the Patriots pick. Now we got the last four picks. Can we blow straight through these last four? Chiefs, 49ers, Bills, and Seahawks. Yeah, and to talk more about the A.J. Brown trade, if I'm the Eagles, after all of this, what appears to be tampering, allegedly, would you really want to do business with the Patriots after all that, after they're pretty much tanking the value and leverage you have for trading away A.J. Brown? Would you want to trade him to the team that was doing that to you? Probably not. You'd probably want to trade him more to a team. I mean, it's out of conference if it goes to the Patriots, but to the Rams, I don't know that I would do that if I was the Eagles. But Dan Orlovsky's talking about trading for Pickens or A.J. Brown. If I'm the Rams and I'm trying to win this year, I don't know that I'm taking Ty Simpson at 13. Maybe they don't believe that there's that many dudes that can start, and they believe in their ability in drafting late. That's probably the case. And that would be great process if you can execute it, but it's a risk for sure. If you don't win a Super Bowl, people are going to say, well, you took Ty Simpson 13th overall. Well, maybe that pans out 5-10 years from now, but it's over the next 5 or 10 years. But I don't think you're going to get the Eagles dishing them off to the Cowboys or the Eagles either. I think there's a good chance A.J. Brown just ends up staying in Philadelphia. And you got Mekhi Lemon, Devontae Smith, and A.J. Brown. I mean, who else is going to try to trade for him? Who's a win-now team in the AFC? The Chiefs? Are they going to trade him to the Chiefs? Maybe, if they make the right offer, they would do it. A first-round pick next year. Maybe a third at best. In addition to that. The Chargers, the Broncos, the Texans, no, they don't need him. The Titans, they could use him again. Opposite of Carnell Tate with Wandale in the slot, that's pretty good. They can't afford to do that, though. The Colts? Colts would be interesting. Because they just lost Michael Pittman. And it feels like, with the way that they run their offense, using a big run after catch, physical, deep threat wide receiver like A.J. Brown would be a good fit. The Colts is interesting. Because they're trying to win now with Daniel Jones. The Jaguars, I mean, they're trying to get rid of Brian Thomas Jr. right now. Did they do like a swap? Probably not. You'd probably have to give them capital to do that. And I don't see the Eagles doing that. The Steelers, maybe. The Ravens, maybe. Ravens would be actually a really good spot for him. Pair him up with Zay Flowers. I would like that. Bengals, they don't need him. Browns, maybe. The Chiefs pick is in. Peter Woods. Okay, so Chris Jones is getting up there in age, and you select kind of like a, I would call it a 3-tech, but like the Aaron Donald type of archetype, like your very athletic defensive tackle who's great pass rushing. He was injured last year, was projected to be a much better or a much higher selection, but he kind of hurt his stock this year with the injuries and kind of playing, getting double teamed, not playing quite as well as he did the year before. But dude is an athletic freak, and seems like you got your follow-up to Chris Jones. Spagnuolo really values that, athletic defensive tackle that can get after the passer with the interior rush. It's important. It's huge. People talk about edge rushers all the time. They don't talk about the interior pressure. That's what gets the quarterbacks. You can step up in the pocket if there's no interior pressure. But if there is interior pressure, there's nowhere to go, and it just destroys your passing game. It would appear the New York Jets have traded up to number 30. I wonder who they are trying to get here. Is it Carson Beck? Are the Jets trying to draft Carson Beck here? Jets trade up to number 30, and the 49ers trade back to 33. Okay, yeah, I feel like this is probably Carson Beck, right? Could be, yeah, it could be a lot of positions, but they could get Omar Cooper, Chris Brazzell, Jeremy Bernard. Denzel Boston, Jermod McCoy, Zachariah Branch too. There's a lot of things they could do here, but I feel like you have, that second pick in the second round. You feel like you'd be trading up only a couple spots when there's so many guys still left on the board to get Carson Beck with the 5th-year option. All right, here he comes. Roger Goodell. Omar Cooper Jr. Oh, I really wanted him. Jets just got a dog as their wide receiver, too. That's a nice draft pick right there. Getting him at 30 It's a good process to trade up for him. But for the Giants, Denzel Boston is still on the board, and that is who I've been saying. Him and Chris Brazzell are the best scheme fits for the Giants. I mean, Zachariah Branch could be like the slot replacement, but I feel like you can put Neighbors in the slot. You might be able to put Tavon Austin in the slot. Not for big slot stuff, but for just slot stuff. But that's... Yeah, the Jets... You think about the Jets' offense before, it was Garrett Wilson, really nothing else. Now you got Garrett Wilson, Kenyon Sadiq, Omar Cooper Jr., Breece Hall's still there. You don't have a rookie quarterback coming in. It looks like they could be tanking, but this is going to make them a lot better. They have more picks next year if they want to trade up first overall. I mean, Omar Cooper's a beast. Dynasty-wise, I don't know about a dynasty. I would say you look at the wide receivers who have been taken. Casey Concepcion to the Browns, Omar Cooper Jr. Really, I like Omar Cooper more as a player, but less established quarterback situation. Mekhi Lemon to the Eagles looks like the best one, really. Carnell Tate, number 2 as well. Yeah, the Jets have a lot more weapons for Geno Smith now. I wonder what they're gonna do. I really do. Buffalo has traded out of the first round. The Titans are back up to 31. They took Carnell Tate. Who else are they going to take in the first round? I doubt they're going to take another wide receiver. Is it Jermod McCoy that they're taking? Is it Emmanuel McNeil-Warren? Is it Avion Terrell? Keldrick Falk? Respect to the Pat McAfee show, but sometimes their conversations are like, what are you guys talking about? $320,000 people there, wow. Keldrick Falk. Okay, he goes in the first round. Interesting. The monstrously sized defensive end in Robert Saleh's defense. This dude is 270, 6'6". Very Eric Armstead. Very Eric Armstead, except Eric Armstead was more on the defensive tackle side of being a tweener. This guy, I mean, his size is like it's bigger than Myles Garrett. He's probably not quite the same athlete, not quite as twitchy or, you know, refined as Myles Garrett for sure. But dude's got crazy potential. And on a team like the Titans, you love to see it. You love to see them building for the future. Robert Saleh's an awesome coach if he can get it out of. I mean, you saw him try to do this last year with Mike Williams on the Niners. Take a guy like this. Clearly, he's got an intention with him to make him a huge piece of their defense. They traded up to go get him. The Seahawks are on the clock with the last pick in the draft. 3 hours, 11 minutes. We're coming up on, I guess the draft itself so far has been 3 hours or so. Dude, it could have been 2.5, I swear, with those commercials. Good for Keldrick Falk. Looks very emotional. Dude's going to be a beast one day, hopefully. Okay, we got the last pick. Seahawks, what are we doing? Are we thinking of trading down here? I told the Seahawks, take your time. We want this to run till 11. Yeah, Dan Orlovsky really did stand up for Ty Simpson when not a lot of people were. Is this pick gonna happen, man? Yeah, I feel bad if you guys are watching this. Feel bad if you're watching this afterwards, almost, because it's gonna be all right. I'm gonna put in the timestamp so you'll this will be at the end of each timestamp. You could like skip to the next one. It'll tell you when each pick's happening. But dang, man, a lot of downtime. Pat McAfee just brought up the point that I did, that like if you don't win the Super Bowl, people are gonna talk about this Ty Simpson pick. Okay, looks like the pick is in. Two-time cancer survivor to announce the pick. Nice. He's hype. Jadarian Price. Oh my God. He went number. Oh, yo. Number 32. Awesome pick by them. This is where you really want to start taking running backs. And man, what a pick that is by them. Replacing Kenneth Walker seamlessly. People forget about Jeremiah Love's backup. What a draft pick that is. I got a pretty good idea of the dynasty stuff. There's still tons of wide receivers, but that is super interesting. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching this very long draft live stream. Bearing with me through me complaining about commercials, watching the Giants' number 5 and number 10 overall picks. Lots of teams with 2 first-round picks. And, yeah, I'm going to go break this up into its appropriate timestamps, and then the Giants picks and the Mike Vrabel opening. So, appreciate you all for watching. I love you guys. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.